Twitch stream?
Yes, I'm. Okay, we should be live now.
All right, yeah, the clock still shows it's counting down.
So Jim, have you done VUGRAPH before?
I've done a couple times. I think I've only done maybe once or twice on this site, but I've been kibitzing a fair amount.
Okay, all right. Are we live and we're speaking yet or no?
Brent, do you know if we're live?
Yes, we are live.
All right.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Monday, and I'm here with Mitch Donitz, and we're going to be looking at the last segment of the quarterfinal matches. We have two pretty close matches, and we're going to start out with the Bramley-Rosenthal match, and Levine-Fleischer is also very tight, and depending on what happens, we may switch over to that match. We're going to start with the action here and see how it plays out.
Sometimes these matches hinge on really subtle little things. Like, for example, do you play weak no trump or strong no trump, forcing club or not? One of the things I'm really excited about seeing here, Jim, is the fact that we've got some of the youngest stars in the game playing. Kevin Rosenberg and Finn Kolesnik at different tables are names that people are going to be very familiar with for a long time. Okay, let's look at the action.
Yeah, you mentioned no trump ranges, and we have a distinction here where one table has opened a no trump on the 14 count, and one has opened one heart, which has already led to a slightly different auction. And I would imagine Bart's redouble there was showing 3-card spades of fort, and they play a strong club, so his hand is obviously limited as well. And Kit has no further aspirations. And so the question is, will Ish content to sell out to 2 spades, which he does.
4-3-3 doesn't seem like he has anywhere to go.
Yeah, and no particular fit with partner suits. They're not aware their 1-8 card fit is the suit that Declara has opened. And the other table in a similar position, Platnick has reopened with a double, and it's going to lead to an inelegant contract in some fashion for North-South.
Unfortunately, Platnick did not have the advantage of knowing that his left-hand opponent had 5 hearts.
Yes. It was a benefit of the no trump opening, is it kept that element concealed. And so North was certainly warned at the other table not to pursue things further. And I see Finn has opted for a deceptive queen of clubs shift, giving Declare a possible losing option if partner has the jack instead of the king. Although it turns out with those honors reversed, it's not going to amount to a whole lot. Clara doesn't have very many losers off the top. That's not the same as having 8 tricks. So we'll see what he can build here.
As long as the Declare doesn't play on trumps, he can probably skate on this hand, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I imagine he's going to persist with diamonds to try and set up a trick with the queen. And see what the defense does. Oh dear, the other table has landed in 3 hearts.
And
that might get greeted rudely by Guinnessauer.
only if he has a pulse. On the other hand, he might like it so much he might just let it go. We'll see.
Yeah, the question is, do the opponents are going to have to run somewhere at the 4 level, which seems unlikely to me, given the auction. So I think he can be pretty sure they're going to stay there. And I'd certainly like my chances of beating it. Once Woolsey in the other table finds out the clubs are 3-3, that actually gives him a fair amount of information on the hand. Is since Ish responded to it with the 3-card suit to the double, he can expect he certainly doesn't have 4 diamonds, and he's likely something along the shape of what he has, possibly with longer hearts. But that should aid him further in the play.
Eldad now he's deciding whether to double 3 hearts or not. We're on pause over there.
Yeah, usually the general rule in these low level doubles is you want to double if you can expect a 2-trick set. That's what makes the imp odds worthwhile for you. And turning 50 into 100 isn't really a huge accomplishment versus the risk of minus 530. But here, looking at very likely with 5 tricks, maybe even 6, and partners allowed to have a little bit of something, that looks like a pretty good bet to me. Yeah, and 2 spades, declares looking pretty comfortable. He doesn't know the spades are 4-1, but he should be able to, his minor suit winners are high, so he should just be able to lose 2 spades from here. He's going to get tapped. He's going to tap himself with a heart, but he's going to have, he's going to finish with 8 tricks.
He'll finish with 8 tricks, right?
Yeah. And the other table, Eldad's going to be a little frustrated. You can see dummy, his partner's probably not going to be of much help. And so the question
He's probably
is,
shaking his head, wondering why his partner didn't lead a heart.
Yes, lead a trump. It's the partner's fault. I've got Al Hollander joining us, who's a conventions expert amongst, as well as a bridge expert, and he's usually very familiar with the methods of the 2 pairs. That should come in handy. Welcome, Al.
Howdy.
Hello, Al.
Hey, Rich.
Yeah, with both minors looking very dangerous for Guinnessar here, I think I would just probably return a spade and let Claire do his own work.
I would say that the 9 imp lead is about to evaporate. But we have a lot of bridge left.
If it hasn't already been mentioned, Bramley actually has another 0.75 imps.
Okay.
Running score shows decimal imps that resulted from slow play penalties, but this view does not. It just shows.
I actually see it as 224.75 looking on the overall view. Yeah, another option is to just figuring Declare is going to score some trumps anyway. You might just start pounding out high hearts.
Well, we can see what happens. If he returns a spade, it's going to go spade, pitching a club, rough a spade, queen of clubs, club, rough a spade, ace, king of diamonds, and now he's going to get end played.
Yeah, this way he can sort of attack Declare's trump holding. Yeah, perhaps limit his ability to take that club pitch and a club rough.
He
by
can certainly
attacking
get
trumps.
right. He can certainly get to 7 tricks easily. So we'll as I see it.
Yeah, it's always easier looking at all 52 cards than it is just the 13 plus dummy.
Well, you're right there.
The other table, we've had pretty routine 2-spade opener from South, and with the big balanced hand, West has just opted to bid 3-no. And it's important to note with King third, it's much more attractive to bid the 3-no, where with King Doubleton, we wouldn't be able to hold off a round of spades as if we've seen here to try and sever the communication. So that third spade was pretty critical.
That's an excellent point, Jim. And that's something that those of you out there who are watching should take note. Being able to pull off a round of a suit when a Doubleton's being laid is just big.
However, the layout as it is not particularly friendly for Declare, so he's not apt to succeed. He's just sort of shortage of tricks. I can see getting his way to 8, but I don't see a 9th, but we'll see
I
what
see 8
develops.
too. All right, we'll see.
It looks like Ganasar has decided to play ace and a club here. And that could actually certainly looks a little bit helpful for Declare. But it may convince Declare that he only has 2 clubs.
Well, I see 8 tricks now at that table in 3 hearts double, but with no hope for a 9th. But famous last words, we'll see.
And North-South's gotten book here in 3-no trump. And Declare is going to have a heart guess to wind up with 8. He's probably going to duck a diamond here and see what develops and then decide how to play hearts.
Jim, something must be wrong with your analysis because I agree with it 100%.
Oh yeah, fortunately Kevin doesn't know hearts are 5-0, so he's led a trump here, which is probably going to aid the defense. That may wind up stranding him with an extra loser.
Right, he needed to rough a spade and then go about his business.
Yeah.
Of course, we're seeing all 4 hands, so it's pretty easy for us.
He's not expecting the 5-0 split there. And so now I think he needs to, he can even play a club at this point, put him back in dummy, or I think he's lost the timing to end play East effectively. Indeed, 3-0 finished, 1 down in the other table.
Pretty hard to avoid 3-no trump with those cards. So I agree with Kit's bid there. Just the rub of the green.
Yeah. We'll go ahead and take a quick peek at the running score. Yeah, this table's still on the first board, so we don't have any comparisons as yet, but we're about to. It's not often that Kit and Bart are 2 boards ahead of their teammates, but such an example exists.
Listen, those are long odds.
Although Finn and Ish are rather quick, and Brian and Kevin are fairly deliberate at the other table as well. And they certainly had a much more challenging contract on the first board here. All right, on board 48, on the left side, we've got Kit opening a strong club. And Finn has doubled. Do you know what that they play that as at majors, Al? I should be able to click on the
I'm
alert
guessing
here.
that's for
Yes,
the
yeah,
majors.
shows majors according to the alert. And he may decide to then back in with diamonds depending on what happens and complete a pretty accurate description, though his values are limited. He is favorable of all.
Now, there's an interesting parlay now. If Kevin exits a small heart instead of playing a diamond,
I think he just
all
he just
roads at this point.
yeah, he just puts them back on the board, I
Yeah,
think.
he just puts them back on the board.
So he's going to get probably just two more tricks from here. The ace queen of hearts in some fashion.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Do you think new two clubs by Bart is a transfer to diamonds
Two clubs shows a gate
yes,
forcing hand,
with
gate forcing
diamonds?
hand with 5 or more diamonds, maybe 4 clubs.
And we can see their
No
cold for
4-card
6
major.
clubs if they get there.
And facing majors, South applied a pressure bid of 3 hearts. That's really where the effective preemption against the strong club comes in, is when you can show your suits and allow a partner to apply the maximum pressure. And we see that's robbed east-west of a lot of investigative room here. And I imagine they're going to stop in 5.
Especially when you pick out the ability for East-West to relay. Giving them a free rein with relay auctions is really losing in the long run.
Yeah, so the first board has wrapped up at the table and was down 2. Not complete disaster, but
You know what? And you got to look at it this way. Eldad created good action on this hand, or at least winning action, by opening a no trump instead of a heart. All right, they're in 5 clubs on board 48, and that's not a particularly there's nothing to the play there. They'll make 6 without working up a sweat.
Yeah, he can pitch his diamond on dummy second heart. A little bit of a, with the clubs are 3-1, so he's got a rough 2 spades first, but it shouldn't be very taxing for Woolsey to achieve that. And a little difficult to visualize, as Al points out, where they couldn't explore their, if they were able to explore shape, I imagine they would have reached 6 clubs comfortably. But the north-south pressure has prevented that. And whereas we saw a jump to 3-0 over the week 2 spade bid, Lincoln has opted to double, catching a 2-0 trump, no doubt, sort of 11 sol, typically with most weak hands. So they've reached 3-0 from the other side, which could see, if South were to lead a low spade, for example, that could allow the jack to score, it would be a possible critical 9th trick. So we'll see what Kevin chooses to lead here. I might, with the king of spades almost certainly to west, he must have a stopper for this bid. The queen is probably the more attractive lead if leading a spade. But he has led low. That could be a fatal choice. Declare were to guess hearts, he could take 4 hearts, 2 clubs ultimately, and 2 spades with the diamond.
The key thing here will be postponing the heart to the play in the heart suit as long as possible to try and get information about the distribution.
Right, he won't be able to get a complete count. I don't think the defense might have too many tricks to cash, but he can certainly duck at least 1 diamond and then have a decision to make. But he's going to play on clubs first, naturally. And I would expect the defense to clear spades. And he doesn't really have a route back to his hand to take a second club hook. So it's going to require some good guessing from Guinnessar. He's been known to do that on occasion.
He's done it against me.
Board 49, North is opened. Let's see what their range is here. 14 to 16, no trump, pretty common range these days. And
Yeah, they do vary it. They use the Meckwell version of first, second, and third non-vol is 14 to 16, third vol and fourth is 15 to 17.
okay. And South has made a bit of a conservative pass, but with the max of 16, game is probably not likely. The 1-0 might be an inelegant contract. And West has balanced with the double. Not surprisingly, Kid and Bart are playing Woolsey, where the double shows a 4-card major and a longer minor.
I was playing with Kid a while ago, and we're sitting down to fill out a card. I said, "What do you want to play over no trump?" And he said to me, "Seriously?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I've improved it. Let me give you my improved version." He wasn't interested in hearing it.
Two clubs usually ask for the minor, and Bart's probably expecting Kit to have clubs. I know my partners never have my 5-card suit. And Kit's going to surprise him with 2 diamonds. And I might have boosted there with Bart's hand to stop a reopening double, which is likely to happen. And now North-South are going to find their club fit.
And I think they'll end up in 3 diamonds. We'll see.
Bart, I'm sure Bart will compete to 3 diamonds. But,
only if he has a pulse.
But North-South may not be done. We'll see. Oh, Platnick has apparently shifted to a heart after winning the club. It's a little surprising. And Declare would like to win the 9 cheaply, but unfortunately that would block the suit. So he correctly wins the ace to give himself the option of finessing the jack later. And that heart shift will probably steer him correctly in that suit. It would not be a particularly attractive shift from 3 small, although I have to admit, it's not very attractive looking at Queen 10 fourth either, in my book.
Well, there's a lot of action at the other table because Bart was conservative and passed 2 diamonds,
Yeah,
which
so as
could have been right. But now Kid is up the ante, and we'll see.
all right, the hard shift gives Willinkin a little bit more time to, as Mitch pointed out, to explore other suits before committing himself to the heart position. And also learning that South has the Queen of Diamonds, he has a pretty good idea where the King of Clubs is now. South having shown up with 8, very unlikely to have the club king. And I think he's going to be in a very strong position to make this. All right, the other table is in 4 diamonds, as noted, high club. I know, I think it was at Kaplan that said they gave me an ace king for a reason, so that's what I lead. And just looking at the heart position in isolation, the percentage play would be to lead low to the queen and then low to the 10 to try and avoid 2 losers. And the hearts are positioned as such as what I'm usually declaring, or that's going to fail. So the question is, will he be able to make some use of the spades before having to commit himself? Not sure he's going to have a lot of timing on his side, but he can certainly play 1 round of spades and then see what the defense does. In the Levine Fleischer match, I sort of have another screen. They both bid 3 no trump on board, the second board, 48 or 47, 47, not 48. And went and failed by a trick at both tables. And Lee and Corbell reached 6 clubs on 48 that Bramley and Woolsey stopped in 5. So that's
Let's look at their auction. Shall we take a look at that?
Yes. See if I can remember how to do that. Six clubs. So it looks like another pair also reached 6. So playing standard, Roger opened 1 club. He got a spade over call. And Daniel raised clubs, which there's no alert. But it looks like showing more than just minimal values. And a couple spade cue bids, and Roger guessed to bid 6 clubs. Doesn't look very
I think
scientific.
the key bid here is the 4 spade bid by Dan Corbell. That really made it comfortable for Roger with prime controls and 3 suits to bid the slam. Well done, guys. And let's look at even though we're not looking at other match, let's see what happened in the nickel match, because they got to 6 clubs there too.
All right.
You are becoming an expert at running around this site. Good job, Jim. And
There's Levin Weinstein. Also opened a club and takeout double from North, getting a diamond response. And so Bobby was able to jump shift in spades. And when Steve showed a club fit and presumably reasonable hand to bid at the 4 level, he just apparently key carded and jumped to 6 opposite a 1 response. He can, when partner bidding a diamond and then clubs, he can visualize likely spade shortness. So he just really only the second round of diamonds he has to worry about, and doesn't need very much from partner, basically an ace and a red king to have a fair shot at 6. And so he bid it and was rewarded.
Good job. Out, let's go.
All right, it looks like when Kevin won the diamond and played another heart. And so Declara has just cleared the diamond suit.
My dogs apparently enjoyed the 6 club bids, and they've now been banished to the other room.
Yes, and Mextroth and Zia did not reach slam, so that was another swing for Levine, who's on a bit of a roll. So Declara's lost 3 tricks in the 3 no trump here, and has a spade to lose, but I think he's going to manage to do the rest. The heart position, I think, is clear. And so he should finesse this and then cash the red winners and then lead a spade up, and he'll be home.
You are right.
Let's check the final outcome of he did wind up making 4 diamonds. Let's take a quick look at the play there. So club was led, and he drew trumps, and I imagine played a spade to see what will happen. And North has an awkward problem, and perhaps broke. Yes, he's going to be end played because he just pitches a heart, so he has a loser on loser play there.
Well
So
done.
whatever North did was going to give him a trick.
Well done by Kit.
lost the view there. Let's jump back in. And we'll double check and declare did indeed make 3-0 for a gain for Rosenthal. And let's take a quick look at the auction on 50. 2+ diamond open, spade overcall. And Finn has jumped to 3-0 with looks like a running diamond suit. And that went really quickly. So we can just look at that hand really. Yeah, he found himself with an 8-card diamond suit facing a spade overcall. He jumped to 3-0 trump. And the opponents can have 4 tricks to take, but have to give him a 9th somewhere. And the slam hand looks like a natural start with the club and a raise, and a spade overcall and a raise. And Walenkin finds himself in a situation similar to a couple other tables we saw. And he also finds the 3-spade cubid. And we'll see if Guinnessar finds that.
Eldad's got a fine hand here. I mean, in the context of what he's only bidding 2 clubs the first time, his hand could not be a lot better. So we'll see.
There'll be another opportunity for Rosenthal. In 51, we've seen North open a pretty routine 1 heart in 3rd seat and a 1 spade response. And we see him rebidding a 4-card club suit. I know when I first started playing and debating the rebid, the 6-card suit or the 4-card suit, I was often told it's better to show 9 than 6. So here North can show 9 of his cards, 5 hearts and at least 4 clubs. Where if he had bid 2 hearts, partner would only know about 6 cards, the 6-card heart suit.
I think if he had better intermediate heart spots, he might have been more attracted to bid 2 hearts, particularly with partners at passed hand. But with weak hearts, this seems eminently more sensible.
Well, how often is a passed hand going to respond 1 spade when he holds 3-card heart fit?
He's not going to unless he has a limit raise in hearts. And if he had that hand, he'd be bidding Drury.
Exactly.
And he now reintroduces his heart suit to suggest 6-4 shape, and with sort of kind of a double fit with hearts and clubs, Ish has opted to raise. I'd say Kolesnik was maybe a little light for the 3-heart bid facing a fast hand, but with the club fit, certainly his hand does get a little bit better.
Well, the only way to beat this hand is a heart lead and a diamond shift. That'd be pretty difficult. We'll see if Bart Bramley can do that. I don't think I could.
Spade lead will work, as he doesn't have a quick entry to dummy.
Good point.
So he could
a spade lead will do it, but
diamond lead is not. And diamond lead is not going to do it.
Yeah, spade lead would have done it. You were right. Sorry.
It still takes some work, and we see that Guinnessar did find that same 4-spade cubid we saw, and the slam was reached. Well done.
You know, for less experienced players out here, the one thing you want to think about is when you've made a bid like 2 clubs here by Guinnessar, and now partner cubids, do you have extras for your initial bid? And if you really scraped up the bid the first time, you want to pull the reins in. But if you underbid or was on the bottom or the top end of the previous bid, then you want to put your foot on the accelerator. So he did a fine job here.
Yes, we consider that partner's cubid, and we've made a single raise. We have 1st round control in both majors, and even the extra king of hearts is just good. Really couldn't be a better hand. Maybe have a 5th trump, but other than that, really exceptional hand. And we have the same no trump start here. South has opted to bid Stamen, and we'll see. No doubt, we'll see if he's just going to invite over two diamond response, or perhaps they have some sort of conventional hack here.
Well, I just hope he doesn't hit the wrong button on his tablet and pass two diamonds.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of misclicks, and yeah, and Kolesnik had no trouble making four hearts on the diamond lead with just three aces to lose there. So the Rosenthal team is playing a strong effort at both tables so far. And Platnick has decided to accept the invitation. Do you know if they're a 14-16 pair, Al? Or 15-17? He's banking on his club suit, it looks like. And it's very bad news that just got worse. Lincoln has made sort of what looks like an unusual double here, but he can see that suits are not going to be breaking, and the opponents are on minimal values. And so he's gambling that this will pay some dividends, and indeed it will. Declare is going to be very disappointed in the club split. And
Yeah.
this contract is likely going to fail. Expect the defense will find their way to the diamond suit, and Declare is not going to have very many tricks.
Corbell Lee sometimes play a mini 10-13 or 14. Otherwise, it's a good 14-17.
I don't know that's going to be obvious for Guinnessar to find a diamond shift. And Lincoln's going to have to make some discards here, which is, I imagine, hearts, knowing that opener doesn't have four hearts, will be relatively safe. His diamond holding isn't extremely good to where he might, but it's certainly decent enough where he might just choose to encourage in diamonds in some fashion. And on 52, we have a strong no trump, transfer to spades, all pass auction. And Kit has opted for a passive club lead, which does declare no harm, but those cards were always on side. Declare's got a bit of work to do. He's going to lose four spade tricks and likely a heart. That fourth club is going to set up for a heart pitch if he can arrange to do that on time, which he should be able to. And Lincoln did pitch a diamond on that first club and another. Yeah, even if the defense doesn't shift the diamonds here against 3-no,
There's no
Declare,
tricks.
you just don't tricks. It may wind up probably down 2 instead of down 3. A diamond shift should lead to down 3. Declare might is also a little concerned, knowing that the diamond suits are wide open. Good thing to keep in mind is when you have a diamond situation like this, it's not always clear for the defense. And so rather than cashing out with two spade tricks here, you're probably better off just plugging away in clubs and hoping something good happens. The more the defense knows about the hand, the more likely they're going to make a winning play for their side. And back to the two spades, Declare did a play on trumps and got the natural heart shift from the doubleton. And unfortunately, East can't really get in on time to play another heart effectively. So I would expect Declare to win this in hand and play another spade up. Also note on the first club, Bart made a nice play from the jack with King Jack third here, sort of a discovery play. He knows his partner's not apt to be underleading an ace on the auction. So that tells him immediately where the queen is. Whereas if it had gone king ace, he would not know where the queen was. And he's in a much better position to shift, knowing that Declare has the ace queen of clubs.
Good point.
Indeed, Guinnessar plugged away in spades. And so Declare is going to have 7 tricks here. And limit the damage. I don't see the defense slipping any further. Declare showing up with the ace king of clubs, the king queen of spades. Oh wow, they've thrown enough diamonds away where Declare can actually exit and force the defense to break hearts. He might actually sneak another one out of this, and he should be able to guess the hearts based on the diamond position. West has to double on something.
Now, Chris Wilenkin's first 2 discards on the clubs were the 7, 6 of diamonds. I'm not sure whether they're playing upside down carding or not, because Eldad's first discard was the deuce of diamonds. So
my guess would be up. They do play upside down. Al, do you know for sure? Looks like Al's muted. Now, certainly, given the fact that he pitched the deuce of diamonds and then didn't play one, that would suggest upside down. And Declare is going ahead and just plugging away in clubs to get that other heart loser away. And so he's going to finish up with 8 tricks, just losing the 4 spades and a heart. So well done. And wow, looks like Bramley has dodged a bullet here with this 3-0 double. Actually going to wind up gaining an imp, I suspect. What could have been 8 or 9 imp loss. Power of the Declare advantage. It's much easier to see the combined assets of your side. Indeed, he does get the hearts right here and winds up with a surprising 8 tricks.
all right. Let's look and see what's happening in the Levine match, shall we? Do you mind switching?
No, I have it on my other screen here. I was just looking at some of the results. Levine has chipped back. It's the overlay of the match view here.
Okay, now let's look at Levine and Wool to see if they can get to 4 hearts.
So we see on 52, North-South has stopped in 2 spades, as we just saw at the other table. Let's look at the score sheet. Wow, they've got to 4 hearts. Moss and Grew got to 4 hearts, but were defeated a trick with the ace of clubs lead. Oh, they got a club rough as well. That was another way to do it.
We didn't even no, we didn't even think about that.
Yep. That was certainly another way to beat the hand.
And now Levine has rebid 2 hearts as opposed to 2 clubs. We talked about that. And now
We'll see if Wald gives him a
will Andy
boost.
give him 3 hearts for now. Let's see what happens here.
Yeah, without knowing about the club suit, it's a little less valuable hand, but Jack 10 of hearts are nice cards. He does have a maximum passed hand. Not vulnerable. If he's vulnerable, I would imagine he'd try, but yeah, here he's just going to let it go. And so they'll pick up a little part score swing. And Zia has found a spade lead.
No, not just a spade lead, but a
Yeah, the
small
low
spade
spade.
goes to the knave.
Next off does find the ace, and I would imagine that's going to look like a diamond shift looking at that dummy. But again, always easier looking at all 4 cards or all 4 hands.
The diamond, they could actually now, if they win the diamond, they could now get a rough and hold them to 8 tricks.
Yes, I believe he will find that defense given the spade queen dropping and the 8 of diamonds return. Although he might play his partner for a doubleton diamond. In which case he could give his partner a diamond rough instead of a
That's
club
what he's
rough.
playing for.
Yeah.
Now, if Levine had ace queen 3rd of diamonds, he might have let the diamond.
Yeah, the play of the queen, he may be trying to force an entry from ace queen 3rd, expecting it to be offside. But that's one of the things where knowing your opponent, is my opponent apt to play the queen from ace queen 3rd? And in this case, it was just for an extra over trick, so it wasn't going to decide the contract.
It's amazing how good we are looking at all 4
Yes.
hands.
And just looking at board 53 here, we see looks like a 3-no trump Rhea Stayman invitational auction. And this is looking like that's going to go down to defeat. The opponents have set up diamonds. South has a spade entry, and the club
And the
finesse
club
is going
finesse
to
is going to
lose.
fail.
So not knowing this, he's going to take his only chance for the club on side. And Moss teases him by ducking.
And now it's time for sadness.
Hopefully he knows where his partner's entry is. I would
Well, there's
imagine
no hope anywhere else.
the carding has suggested the spade entry. That's where the diamonds that South plays when he's following should tell his partner where his entry is. And a suit preference signal. Some pairs play standard and others play upside down. So Moss isn't leading a spade quickly here. So, and he is indeed. Wow. So apparently Joe did not tell Brad that he had a spade entry because he led a heart. That's surprising. So Fleischer team is really struggling. Sometimes it seems when it rains, it pours. All right, let's jump back to our other match here. And we can see Brownlee Woolsey have reached that same 3-0. And the hand where with the 8-card diamond suit where Finn jumped to 3-0 trump and made it. They've stopped in 3 diamonds here. So this is going to be a swing, another swing to Rosenthal. And that was sort of on the diamond suit. If the diamond suit came in there and sort of needed a little bit of help as well. But the cards lay well for north-south on that one, and the vulnerable game came home. And we saw indeed north-south of this table got it right and found the spade shift. And so now south is going to enjoy the diamonds. And 3-no is going to be down a bunch. And we've seen a couple iterations of this board, whether they're going to bid 4 hearts or not, and whether the opponents are going to defeat it. North-south scored a nice 420 in the other room. Another positive position for Rosenthal.
All right, well, we have 7 boards to go, the one table, and a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, the lead is
Platnick
Right.
also rebid 2 hearts.
some pairs use 2 clubs as an artificial bid, showing a stronger hand known as Gazilli. I don't know if Platnick Rosenberg are playing that, which would deter North from rebidding 2 clubs. Kevin does choose to invite here. And I think Brian will probably accept. Nope, wrong again.
Well, you know, if the odds change, if you're vulnerable game, you'd probably be more likely to accept. This is a pushy, non-vulnerable game, so he went
Yeah, it
low.
was the 6-4 shape, and sort of the weak hearts are sort of improved by partners showing a fit. So hand is probably a little better than it was when I bid 2 hearts. So I think I would have accepted that.
I know that if the queen of spades
Yeah.
were somewhere else, it would
Certainly, yeah,
would
certainly
look
the
like-
queen of spades is a dubious value,
right.
even when partners bid the suit. And they started with the spade lead and a diamond shift, so it was. Now the question is, should he finesse the diamond here in 3 hearts, as we've noted? That can lead to a defeat if the defense shifts to clubs now, whereas going up with the ace almost certainly guarantees the contract, and that's what he's done.
Good play by Brian Platnick going up with the ace. He's playing imps, not pairs.
Yes, he's
And,
in 3 hearts, and yeah, with 8 clubs, certainly the danger of a club ruff is looming. And he can afford to lose a trick in each suit, but he can't afford to lose a ruff to go along with it. And he has now prevented that.
He gained the tempo and avoided the club ruff. Good job by Brian Platnick.
You see 54s, open a no trump all pass.
The lead is 35. Rosenthal over Bramley.
Yes. Yeah, maybe the other match is looking closer, so maybe we ought to just shift back to there. Yeah, this is the 2 spade hand that wasn't on 52. The pretty common field result.
Nice shift by Kit Woolsey. to the
Yes,
other
Woolsey
table. Heart
finds
was
a
stuck
spade.
and he switched to a spade.
That was a curious duck of the Queen of Hearts by Finn, where if the spades were 5-2, this could have theoretically led to defeat. When he had 7 tricks with three more clubs, a heart, and 2 diamonds with 1 trick in. And he's going to survive with the spade split. Perhaps he's not expecting a 5-2 spade division the way the play has gone, but looks a tad greedy. Yeah, Bart has opted when shifted to the queen, looking at the jack. That's showing either the king queen 10 or the ace queen 10. Otherwise, it would be kind of suicidal to make that shift. So Bart goes about setting up his partner's heart suit, not being certain of the spade position, and declares going to emerge with his 7 tricks. Oh, the diamonds are good. Okay, so he gets 8. All right, let's go ahead and go back to the Fleischer-Levine match. It's a little bit closer.
Yeah, this match is 14, or I was at 22 now, sorry, so it is a little closer.
Yeah, this is the board where we saw East-West make, on the right side of the screen, we saw East-West make 3-0 on 53 when the defense could not get their diamonds, their tricks in time. And 3 diamonds looks like a rather strange contract for North-South with an 8-card spade fit. Just looking at 55 from what I can see. We can take a closer look at that. Yeah, if my looks like they rebid 1-no trump, and Brad opted to show secondary diamonds with that spade suit during partner bid no trump. I think I would just insist on playing in spades.
Well, 3 diamonds can make, it's just, I think that someone maybe eschewed the diamond finesse.
Yeah, we
Unless
can
the
see the
club was
play.
cashed. Was a club cashed in 4 rounds of, that wouldn't do it either in 4 rounds of hearts, so.
Yeah, the wrong hand has the promotable holding. Let's
I
see
think
the
probably
play.
Joe Grew or whoever was declared decided to play for the drop in the diamond suit. Yeah,
Yes, he did.
that's what happened.
Keeps on.
Well, the nickel match is close, is tightened up. They're only up by 224.
All right, East-West has reached 3-0 trump, but South didn't lead a diamond because East opened a diamond at this table. And he led a passive heart. And so the question is declare going to be able, the defense still has 5 tricks that they can take. 2 diamonds, 2 spades, and a club. Let's see if Declare can sneak his way home, as he has been known to steal a few contracts.
And we've all been known to steal a few contracts.
In the other room, it looks like East has made sort of 3-card limit raise, and they stopped at 3.
And
That's surprising, bit of a surprising pass from Roger with 5-4-4 shape and a club void, with the opponents bidding that suit. And looks like game is pretty excellent contract. That was a bit of a curious decision. It's generally, when I have extra shape and partner invites, I'm almost always accepting.
I'm with you.
Now, he might have thought that when he bid 2 diamonds, if partner really liked diamonds, they might have just chosen to bid 4 hearts. I've made that bid sometimes with a limit raise, and partner's rebid improves my hand.
Yeah, but on the other hand,
Yes.
Joe Gru's 2 club bid certainly makes Dan Corbell's club holding look a lot worse.
Yes, but given the opponents have certainly bid clubs, I would be more optimistic with the West hand, and yes, the king of clubs is looking less valuable. And so a little bit of a window for Fleischer to possibly get some
An
ends.
opportunity to close the gap a little bit for the
Yes.
Fleischer team.
So Zia is going on the tried and true path of attacking your weak suit when you only have 8 tricks, and maybe the opponents will give you a 9th. We'll see if that works.
Well, the thing about that play is that when it does work, it's also really demoralizing too.
Yes.
So Zia is a master of psychological play.
Unfortunately, I don't think Wold has much with the ace king tied of spades. He's not going to have much else than dummy. Knowing that Declara has hearts and clubs, he's going to sort of be end played into leading a diamond, I think, here. And hope for the best. I suppose he could hope partner has the queen of spades and a slow diamond, like jack and 1 diamond. But that's going to, once the queen of spades appears, he's sort of forced to play a diamond. Oh, no, he did not. Again, much easier to defend looking at all 4 hands, but that seems like a surprising lapse there.
Well, you and I haven't made a mistake yet today, Jim.
Nope. Perhaps he had a different picture of the hand. Unless
Well, this
Unless
match
he thought-
this match has now gotten quite a bit more interesting. Let's look at what Joe Gru and Brad Moss are now doing on board 57.
yeah, sort of a third seat, 3 diamonds, especially favorable. Partner's a past hand.
They're
Definitely want to
playing
take up the
precision,
opponent's
so
room.
2 diamonds is not available. Anyway, it's interesting. He's 6'4". And now we'll see what happens.
It's an inelegant preempt with 4 spades, but facing a past partner, it's much more likely to be the opponent's hand. And we want to gum up their works if we can. And here we've got fine partner with a pretty good diamond support and nothing.
And the problem for Dan Corbell is the king of diamonds is in front of the diamond bidder.
Yeah,
So
they,
hats off to Joe Gru for making this making this potential swing go his way.
yeah, from the west side, even if the spade ace is with North here, there's 6 hearts, 4 clubs, and 2 diamond tricks. So the spade ace being on side is
He doesn't even need
irrelevant.
the spade now
Yes.
because he's got 2 pitches.
So the only danger for a slam was a rough. Yeah, quickly claims. There's nothing to the play there. And we saw the hand where Finn was playing. We saw a little bit of this hand when Finn was playing 1-0 in the other match. And again, that's going to be a common contract. 1-0 all pass. And here Zia has led a high spade from ace king 4th. That's actually a good discussion, is what do you lead from ace king holdings? Is sometimes you have a suit like ace king jack 10 5th, and you'd like to know if partner has the queen and you want them to unblock it or to signal perhaps count. But in this situation, Zia certainly doesn't want partner to unblock the queen. So you have to decide whether you want to lead the ace or the king from those type of holdings.
And I'm sure their agreement is the ace is asking for X,
Yeah,
because
so-
you wouldn't want partner to unblock with ace
Agree-
king 4th unless you're looking for a new partner.
So Jeff will encourage, I guess they're playing standard carding based on that. But then Zia shifted, so perhaps not. Although the 5 is difficult to read. Certainly, Declara could have been concealing the 4 and wanting Z to continue. But that club shift doesn't declare anything they didn't have in the first place. But it's going to make declare breathe a lot easier with at least 7 tricks.
Oh, now the hand is very interesting on 58 that Drew and Moss are bidding because if they get to 3-0, if a spade is led, there'll be no entry to the dummy.
Yeah, South has made a takeout double with the strong hand, and then Q bid, perhaps thinking that 3-0 trump
They are going to
possibly is a spot.
And I
but
think they're going to get the king of spades lead or queen of
yes.
spades.
And so he showed a strong hand with hearts, and Brad has shown clubs and a spade stopper with his no trump bids. And the club blockage is likely going to be fatal. And ace spades are good enough where certainly I would be leading the suit. And unless he can get the defense to give him access to dummy.
So I'm
The
thinking how I would
position is
play this hand.
interesting.
I would be ducking the spade.
Yeah, he's
And
going to
now
duck the spade.
He's going to switch to probably a diamond. And now you cash the clubs and play 4 rounds of diamonds. And that's going to fail because diamonds are 5-2. So now they're going to score 2 diamonds, a
2 hearts
spade,
and
and 2 hearts.
Yes, if he finds a way of playing on hearts, if somehow he reads the diamond position, he can cash 2 diamonds and play a heart. I think he might be able to see his way home. As West can only get in once in the heart suit. Well, I guess East can just win the heart and continue hearts, and they can dummy lock him. I think his goose is cooked, I believe. And it looks like Levine is cashing winners and 1-0 trump here. And now the diamond finesse is no longer safe. So I hope he doesn't take it. Yes, he's decided to take his 7. And so it's just going to be an imp. Looks like
58, do you see a route for north-south to get to 5 clubs? I don't think anybody did anything wrong here.
Pretty tough to get to 5 clubs.
Well, I mean, the club blockage is sort of known could be an issue.
Now Roger Lee needs to pitch a spade on the 4th round of the 3rd round of clubs. Let's see what he throws.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to see looking at all 4, looking at both hands, but the club, well, he does find the heart play. He doesn't.
Well, Joe is trying to seduce Roger Lee because if he goes up and plays a spade,
Yeah, he can
now
unblock
the queen of clubs
club.
can be thrown away. That's a very clever play.
Yes. Oh, I guess Brad's playing this one.
That's a good play by Brad.
Yeah, interesting. He doesn't. It's not giving the club position away. Yeah, with the blockages like ace king queen of clubs or ace king doubleton, when partner transfers often suffer from communication problems and no trump, and so you can sometimes prefer suits, but it looks too hard on this hand where you just need so little, and needing an 11 trick game with only 1 ace or with off two aces potentially, and a lot of slow cards. Even like the Jack of Diamonds or the Queen of Hearts or even the Jack of Hearts would probably get the job done. And the other table where Grumos got the three diamonds. West has opted to overcall the four-card heart suit. And so North-South are now going to discover they have a 5-3 spade fit. We'll see how much that changes.
Well, they'll be more comfortable taking a diamond finesse if they're in spades. Now,
Yeah,
one thing that's-
imagine that. Imagine Mexroth's not going to sell to two spades if it comes to that.
Now, I wonder, looking at Joe Gru's dummy on the other hand, where Brad Moss played the 9 of hearts, whether it might have been a better play to play the 10 of hearts, because what he wants to do, well, now we're about to see, is the 9 has worked, and now
I think that play is fatal for the defense because now West can't get it. Oh, yeah, definitely fatal now.
kudos
Well
to
done.
Brad Moss.
Very
Kudos to
clever from Brad.
Moss.
Very clever. And so he's going to get home with an over trick.
He earned his fine score here.
Yes, it's easy to overlook the element of deception.
And sometimes people get tired too. It's the end of the day.
Yes, the more opportunity you give your opponents to make a mistake, the more mistakes they're going to make.
And East-West will get one trick at the end.
And predictably, Mexroth did balance it with 3 clubs, and they've landed in the same 3 diamond contract. I think Wold will have no trouble guessing diamonds on the auction, though. Let's see, that's 55. So this room is well behind. And so I believe, was it Grumos play strong club when not vulnerable and 2/1 when vulnerable, I believe. And Joe has opened
They also play a big club in 4th seat,
and in
regardless of
4th seat.
vulnerability. Yeah.
So Joe has opened a precision diamond with diamonds, but without an opening hand. But that doesn't stop a lot of players these days.
He has 2 extra 10s for his opener.
And West has a normal overcall. Bit of an unusual pass from Brad. I guess he knows his partner's limited, so it's probably the opponent's deal, and he likes spades, and the hearts are poor. So maybe he chose not to make a negative double there. He would have found a 4-4 heart fit. But definitely opponents have the balance of power. So this should be a fairly comfortable contract. And Corbell chooses to win and dummy to take the club finesse. And there's not much the defense can do to Payne declare. Here it's going to be just a matter of over tricks. Heart shift has some appeal. Maybe you'll catch queen third or queen or even 4 small as here. We can set up some heart tricks without really helping declare too much. And Wold actually managed an extra trick. The defense failed to cash out. And so he managed to win 10 tricks in that 3 diamond contract. So another part score swing to Levine. Yeah, apparently Joe could not read Brad's diamond signal at trick one and continued the suit, which aided Declare's cause. And now he's going to take a bunch of tricks. So it looks like maybe two more for the defense here in some fashion. And the other side, where the opponents, or where the other table stopped in three hearts, we'll see if Zia and Mextroth can reach game. Two spades has an alert. I imagine that's going to be some kind of limit raise.
3-card limit raise in hearts is my guess.
Limit in hearts, okay. And with the bidding up an extra level, it becomes less attractive for South to enter the auction. And Mextroth just blasts with that shape and take his chances on making 10 tricks. And with a fairly reasonable layout their side, he should have no problem doing so. Though the club ace lead and the other table certainly made Declare's life a bit easier. Let's see real quick. So yes, Declare wound up with 9 tricks in that one no contract. So this is the last board, board 60. And the Rosenthal team is really piled it on. They're up almost 50 imps now with a huge last segment. So they've been basically doing everything right. So Declare doesn't know the diamond situation here, and he may well make a loser on loser play with a spade. It's not clear if that diamond spot was readable. No, he roughs in. So it does get a bit awkward. But he does have 10 tricks available. And this last board, East-West have opened and raised hearts with 3 spades, showing like an intermediate type of hand. And Brad has made a bit of an aggressive raise to 4, but knows he's facing a pretty good hand, vulnerable against not taking his chances on a vulnerable game. Perhaps thinking that they might be trailing. Things hadn't gone too great for them.
Now, 4 spades to be very difficult to beat because you can duck a club and throw 2 diamonds away.
Yes, that club suit with the partner having the king 10-9 of clubs, fitting with that suit very nicely, and a stiff heart. So the question is, he wants to lose a club to West if he can. East can get in and shift to a diamond. And so I think what he needs to do is give West his spade trick so he can't shift to a diamond and then lose the club. I think he can survive with a tap.
He is the king of diamonds, so even if West gets in later,
yeah, he needs East. He needs to keep East out of the lead until West's spade card is gone.
right.
So he might. Well, he knows the queen of spades is with West, so he might lead low towards the jack here. And I think he'll find his way home. So yeah, Mextroth made quick work of the 4-heart hand.
And the lead is shrunk to 21.
And couple potential swing boards coming, so we'll see if Fleischer can make up some ground. This was one where the aggressive preemption kept East-West out of a slam, so an opportunity here for Fleischer certainly. We'll see if Wold makes the same preempt. And Joe did lead low towards the jack. And Roger has a list of unappetizing looking options. Another heart would be interesting. Declare doesn't know the spades are splitting, so he may not be comfortable roughing and dummy. But now he also has an entry with the jack of spades to make an avoidance play by leading low towards the 9 and keeping East off lead.
Joe's gonna make 4 spades on this.
I believe he's going to make it.
We
at
are
this
gonna have a
point.
match going down to the wire here.
So from Roger's perspective, what can he expect partner to have that's gonna make a difference? That's where you'd like to say your lead partner at this point, but that's not allowed.
This is the beauty of this, is we've got 2 world-class teams battling it out.
Wold has chosen to open 1 diamond, and which has made slam a little bit less attractive in a sense, as now East is declarer, but certainly will make the ace of spades certainly likely to be onside. So Maxroth needs very little for slam. Looking at this hand, we'll see what happens.
Unfortunately, 4 diamonds is not going to turn Z on with his king and 1 diamond. But
I expect he's intending that as a so-called splinter bid, showing a huge raise for hearts with a singleton diamond. And Zia has some assets, but the king of diamonds doesn't look to be worth very much. Although one of my old partners, Irv Kostel, had Kostel's law, the king of diamonds is always good for offense. So he would have been right here. Oh, Levine has chipped in with 5 diamonds now. That's interesting. So we'll see if they can climb their way to slam. Zia has certainly more than he might. He might have had absolutely nothing. So the queen of hearts, queen of clubs, certainly worth something, even though the king of diamonds may not be. And I would expect the 4 diamond bid has created what's called a force. So if Zia passes, he knows his partner is not going to pass the hand out. And some pairs would play that a pass serves a constructive hand without any clear bid to make, while double is a negative bid. And some pairs reverse those two. I don't know which Zia and Jeff do. And indeed, Joe did make his 4 spade contract as we predicted. It looks like Roger shifted to the king of diamonds in desperation. And that did not, it looked like playing his only hope was that partner had the ace of diamonds, which was a reasonable bet, reasonable shot. Declare could have had ace, king of spades, king, queen of clubs. And any other holding wasn't apt to do much good, as Declare would likely be able to establish clubs. All right, Zia has doubled 5 diamonds. I don't think Jeff is going to sit for that, but that may discourage him from bidding 6 or encourage him to bid 6, depending on what double showed.
Well, Mike Levine has just created a huge swing for himself.
Wow, surprised that Jeff passed that at these colors. Well, he's actually, this could be 800 here. He's got 2 diamonds, a spade, a heart, and 2 clubs, but he may have stopped opponents from, may have stopped him from bidding 6.
Right. It's a save against 6.
And the Rosenthal-Bramley match, Finn also managed to make 3 no trump on the hand that Brad played with the blocked club suit. And he played basically the same. He played the 10 of hearts. And ultimately led to the same thing where West got in and played a spade and he's able to unblock the club, just as Brad did.
Fine plays by 2 excellent players.
Yeah, I'm very superstitious about holding the stiff ace of trump when I think partner might have something. And so I like to alleviate those concerns. And I like to get the ace of diamonds out of the way. I wouldn't expect partner to have the king of diamonds on this auction, but it's just one of the superstitions of mine. It's not apt to matter here.
No, because Eddie's going to be playing diamonds out of his own hand.
Yes. So Jeff's kind of stuck. So 1 spade won't hurt the defense too much. Declare doesn't have anywhere to put that spade loser still. Yeah, neither pair bid the slam here in the Rosenthal-Bramley match. Yeah, Cohen and Kohler actually got to 6 clubs on the hand with the club blockage. Let's take a look at that, see how
Yeah,
they
that's
did it.
interesting.
So we saw a spade double, which was very common. Kohler jumped to 3 clubs. Quite frankly, I think I would jump as well with the 6-4 and an ace. It's a little light on high cards, but the tricks are there.
Strong in playing strength.
And 4 no trump was undisclosed. It would appear he was intended that as ace asking.
Billy's old school, so that might be ace asking for him. Some
And
people might play 4 diamonds as key card, and
Kohler wasn't sure, and he just bid 6 clubs. And not much work, just lose the ace of hearts. And especially with onside, you can set up a pitch. And you have a pitch coming in diamonds, so you really only need to rough 1 spade. And so well done. All right, so here's that hand. And they've opened 2 spades here, which is alerted as a good week 2. And so they may use 2 diamonds as a bad preempted a major, and then 2 of a major as better hands. That's a common treatment. And typically 3 clubs.
That's
Uh,
actually one of Zia's favorite, is to use 2 diamonds as mini and 2 major as constructive.
There's certainly a benefit to that. And the 3 club response typically shows a constructive hand. Weaker hands typically bid 2 no, as we saw in one of the hands earlier. I would imagine that Levine and Wold play that treatment. It's pretty common, but I'm not sure. And Eddie has bid 3 spades, show a good hand. Looking for a spade stopper among other things, and we'll see where that goes. Nextroth has made a curious double. Perhaps that tells his partner not to lead spades. I play negative cubit doubles with some partnerships, but typically only by the person who bid the suit, not by partner. That would be my guess as to what that shows. And I would certainly think partner's looking for a stopper here, and I have one, so I would bid 3 no with Levine's hand. But he is 4 clubs. All right, that's a way to find clubs anyway. We'll see if Eddie is able to sniff out a slam at this point. Now they've reached what will certainly be a making game, so it's like Fleischer's window for gaining ground is closing rapidly. Only 2 boards to go.
Let's skip ahead to board 59, because we know 60 is a potential swing hand. What's 59? Because they're going to make 5 clubs in this hand. So let's look at board
59 was the 1 no hand here. So unless they can extract some sort of penalty, I don't think they're going to have enough imps to game. And Platnick is in 3-0 with board 58 here in the common club position. He finds himself in the same position where he's cashed 2 clubs and is pondering his options. Right, with the 2 spade bid, it's less certain that the ace of hearts is onside, although with the constructive nature of the 2 bid, I would certainly think it would be.
Well, even if it's offside, you need the communication to go back
Yes.
and forth if you want to rough spades.
Now, the alternative is to play 3 rounds of diamonds and pitch a heart and seeing if you can get away with that. More attractive play at match points, perhaps. Although, unless you suffer a very early rough, it's not apt to be fatal. Yeah, it looks like Bramley is too far back to be able to catch up. They're down 40 some with only a few boards to go. And really not enough swing potential for them. We saw that Rosenberg and Grosick bid the slam on 58 or 57, is it? Yes, only pair to bid slam on the big hard hand that we saw.
How'd the auction go?
They did get a 3-diamond opener in the double that we saw, and a gentle raise to 4 diamonds. That's the kind of tactic where you want to give your opponents just enough room to stop in 4 of a major, which was
And
something
Zach Grosick made a great bid of 5 hearts, even though he's looking at king of the diamond.
that seems like a huge 5 heart bid right there. But I guess he knows that Michael's going to have the goods for his bidding. And certainly was rewarded on this hand. Looks like a pretty big 5 heart bid to me, but
Now let's go back to other hand and see if Levine has played.
lost my way. All right, looks like he roughed a spade, and then he's going to try and pitch his heart away on the diamonds.
Well, he'll still make 5 this way.
Yeah, whatever he does, he's going to make it. That will lose the over trick. If he does, Zia can win, rough the diamond, and play a trump and hold him to 11. Indeed, he is going to try it. And Zia does find the trump ship. His alternative was to try a spade, maybe promote a card in partner's hand. That doesn't seem very likely given the bidding, so the trump is almost certain to work. And now Declare is going to be left stuck with a spade loser. He can rough 1.
And he'll be making 11 tricks.
And Jeff knows his partner has the ace of hearts, so he's rising queen just in case Declare had another one of jack left, say.
Yeah, in case the clear had only 5 clubs. I guess it's possible. Then you'd have what, 5 spades or 2 hearts? Okay, anyway, we'll get this over with quickly.
Should see a claim coming pretty quickly. It's one of those things that kind of bothers me, is a table that is slow and still doesn't quickly claim on hands like this.
I just got a note from Danny Sprung who says the running score is different on the summary page in the Levine match.
Yes, there are differences because of possible time penalties. So Fleischer is actually ahead. Oh, that's a huge difference. Levine has almost 20 imps in penalties. So there's still quite something to this match.
Wow.
It is 240 to 237.25. Fleischer is actually ahead.
Well, this is something we didn't know.
Yeah, that's a
Bad
good move.
announcement.
I didn't notice there's quite a significant number of penalties in these matches. Levine and
That's
Wald
a-
are typically slower pair.
Boy, that's a heartbreaking way to lose if that's what it results in.
Yeah, I don't know when they added those in, but I didn't see them earlier. That's
I
for
would
sure.
like to see slow play penalties instituted in some of our national events, though. I got to tell you.
Agreed. Indeed, Zia and Maxtroth have down to 1-0. So they play 1-0 as purely non-forcing owl. Is that true? I don't see even a semi-forcing note here.
Well, they probably played semi-forcing, is my guess.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if it was nothing. And not surprisingly, Wald did not open this collection at this table. But same contract, and I imagine he's led a heart here, which actually is going to help the defense, as they can now continue another heart, and they can set up a few winners while
I think
declared
they can
still
hold
needs to
them in
establish
9
diamonds.
tricks. They should be able to score 2 spades, 2 hearts, and 2 minor suit tricks.
Yes, they can hold them to 1. So that would actually move the match to 0.75 difference. And
And we'll
Fleischer
make-
team has a strong result on board 60, so it's going to be hard for North-South to pick up any ground, but you never know.
And now we have to see if Mike Levine cashes his 6th trick. I've known Mike, believe it or not, for almost 50 years. I was a student in Ann Arbor, and he was a local bridge player. Nice man.
Yeah, I played against him quite a bit, very much so. South has shown the king of clubs, the ace of diamonds, and the king of hearts. So I wouldn't be banking on them holding too much else. So as much as it is nice to try and set the contract, at some point there's a benefit into taking your tricks.
You have the makings of a coach, Jim.
And For those of you who might just be joining us, again, as was pointed out, the posted score here is not the actual score due to significant time penalties for Levine. And they're actually trailing in the match. At this point, they'll be trailing by a fraction of an inch. So they will need to beat the 620 in the other room in order to win. And if this were to be a push, that would be a devastating way to lose with almost 20 imps in penalties. Sort of hiding the east hand here. Here we have sort of a tactical 1-0 from Zia with a weak hand and support. Some cases he's maybe trying to obfuscate the big heart fit, and he doesn't want to tell the opponents they have a big fit and alert them to that by making a preemptive raise, sort of waving a red flag at a bowl to
I think
vulnerable opponents.
the winning bid here, right or wrong, at least on this hand, was Joe Grew jumping to 3 spades, which made it comfortable for his partner to jump to bid the 4-spade game. But I don't think we're going to see that here. Now, if Eddie does bid 3 spades again, which he may not do it, then we have a chance to get to 4. But
Well, I think they had a heart raise at the other table, I believe.
and so Joe won the chips on this hand.
Yeah, they raised to 2 hearts here, which made the jump maybe a little bit more appealing. And indeed, yeah, they've stolen the pot in 3 hearts here.
Well, if the late plays, if the slow play penalties resulted in the match, that's a brutal way to lose. On the other hand, you know what? We have rules they have to be followed.
Yeah, I actually applaud. I mean, I don't like to decide the match that way, but I actually applaud them seemingly reinforcing those a little bit more this go around. I believe there is a clock and that should be adhered to. And it looks like even though they're going to pick up pretty good swing here for Fleischer, it's still not going to be as much difference as the penalties. Yeah, I don't remember seeing anywhere near that much when we started the match. So I'm not sure when they got added in or for what, is it a particular segment or segments that get applied? Yeah, it looks like 3 hearts has no real. Go ahead, Al.
The slow play penalty algorithm is described in the conditions of contest, which are available online, and they're cumulative. The first 7 minutes is a freebie, and then after that, a different percentage. It's on a scale that I don't remember.
Sort of increases as it gets worse.
Right. I think that in chunks of 5 boards after that, it's when the big jumps occur.
Looking at the round clock, it looks like they're done in plenty of time here. I don't know if it accrues within a particular segment, like they have to reach board 5 in a certain amount of time, but it was certainly punitive.
Yeah, what Lovebridge does is it assumes that you have 60 minutes per pair to play the set. And as you play each board, if you are below the average number of minutes allocated for a 60-minute chunk, it will change the color of the pair's time clock. It's a clock that only that pair can see. There's also a table clock. They can finish the match in time, but there can still be penalties against a slow pair. So the pair sees whether it is in danger of using up too much time, or if it has gone past too much time. The color that the pair sees changes, I think, from nothing to yellow to red. So they're aware
All right, so yeah,
that the pair is in trouble. And
All right,
then,
well, three
yeah,
hearts
and
is
then
gonna go down one
then it
here.
accumulates.
okay.
I'm sorry, Mitch, say again.
No, three hearts is going to go down one here, and as Danny Sprung has pointed out to me, there's going to be a field day about these rules on bridge winners. So if you want to
Agreed.
if you want to be the first 100 people to respond, it will be there.
Actually, you're probably too late.
I think there was some mention of it previously a little bit, but I think now that it's certainly decided to match, it's going to definitely become more inflamed.
Hit the fan.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to sign off. Gentlemen, thank you for letting me share the spotlight with you a little bit. I've enjoyed it, and everyone
Thank
have
you,
a good
Mitch.
evening. And I'm going to go have dinner with my wife. What a concept.
All right, and thanks to Brent for doing the hosting.
Yep, thank you, Brett.
And thanks to Al for his insights, various insights.
Right, Al,
All
thank you
valuable.
too. Gentlemen, I bid you adieu.
All righty, very well. We'll stick around just to watch the end here. Yeah, Declare really had no way to avoid 5 losers. And his only real hope is to be able to cash the king of diamonds now and then rough out the queen of diamonds to set up a club pitch if the defense doesn't cash their tricks. But that's even not going to work here with North holding the diamond queen, and it doesn't rough out. So there's really nothing he can pull, barring a defensive lapse. And always difficult to lose by a small margin. As you wind, especially in a long match, you wind up replaying all the mistakes. I'm sure players will have many boards they'd like to have back. All right, this is going to give Declare some hope that that the diamond will set up, but it's just not going to work. In theory, he has a choice of whether to pitch or rough, neither of which is going to work. I expect Levine will win this and put the ace of clubs on the table, and we'll get a claim. And there we have it. All right. So we see that without the penalties, Levine would have won by 8. But with them, they trail by a little less than 12. So we'll see what becomes of that, but I would expect the final result to be Fleischer advances. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with more coverage with the semifinals and finals to come in the next 4 days. Should be some great bridge coming, and join us again. Thanks for watching,
Thanks, Jim.
and go Warriors. Take care. Bye-bye.